Stories and conversations around Bloomington, Normal, and McLean County. This is WGLT's news magazine, Sound Ideas.
Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
Yeah, there may be no crying in baseball, according to Tom Hanks in the movie A League of Their Own, but there is language. Ah, such language. Today's episode of the WGLT series McHistory, as relayed by famed broadcaster Campbell Stretch Miller, deals with a certain kind of language and a manager every bit as fiery as Tom Hanks.
If the game was rained out, I found myself saying, the Bloomers were washed out again today.
Bloomington's minor league baseball club, known for most of its history, which ran from 1901 to 1939 as the Bloomers.
This is Bill Wetzel, member of the McLean County Museum of History Board.
This is Bill Kemp, librarian, McLean County Museum of History.
If Bloomington played a doubleheader and won one and lost one, what could I say but the Bloomers split?
But in 1935, they're known as the Cardinals because that year, and only that year, the Bloomington minor league ball club is an affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals.
The Bloomington Pantograph had its own troubles with headlines about the local baseball team. One classic I recall appeared after a losing effort in an extra inning game. It read, "Bloomers finally go down after long struggle."
Baseball Hall of Famer Burleigh Old Stubble Beard Grimes was inducted into the Hall of Fame after his passing. He had won 270 games in his big league career, which lasted 19 seasons. He played primarily with the Dodgers and is most associated with the St. Louis Cardinals.
Burleigh Grimes, now a member of baseball's Hall of Fame, was the manager of the Bloomington team, and he too presented a problem.
As a 38-year-old in 1931, he won something like 17 games and then won 2 more in the World Series as the Cardinals defeated the Philadelphia Athletics 4-3.
Grimes was a fiery competitor in his big league pitching days, and he carried his stormy behavior into his managerial career.
So in 1935, this future Hall of Fame major league pitcher, Burleigh Grimes, comes to Bloomington to be the manager and also the pitcher of Bloomington's minor league baseball club.
He would charge out of the dugout or off the coaching box to argue vehemently on every close call in a game.
The chief executive of the St. Louis Cardinals at the time was Branch Rickey, before he goes to the Brooklyn Dodgers, and Branch Rickey thought Grimes would make a good manager eventually in the big leagues, but he wanted to season him in the minors first. So dispatched him to the Class B Illinois, Indiana, Iowa League, which was a respected small minor league, and Bloomington, as I mentioned, had a team in that league from 1901 to 1939.
Burleigh was an astute gentleman with a broad vocabulary and spoke 2 languages very fluently, English and profanity.
He retires, interestingly, in 1934, so he's here immediately after his retirement managing the Class B Bloomington Cardinals. Most famously, he retires as the last major leaguer to legally throw the spitball.
My problem was my proximity to the playing field. My broadcasting booth was right on ground level back of home plate. There was only chicken wire separating me from the playing field.
Back in 1920, the major leagues eliminated all trick pitches, and that included the spitball. They did, though, grant a lifetime exemption for 17 existing spitball pitchers, realizing that these 17 pitchers have made their career partly on this pitch. Burleigh Grimes indeed throws the spitball in the Class B Illinois, Indiana, Iowa League as manager, pitcher, player for the Bloomington Cardinals. There's some controversy about that, but it's decided that he's going to draw fans wherever he pitches, and they might as well allow him to continue to throw the spitball.
It was on a spot only a few feet in front of me that Grimes and the umpire would meet, stand nose to nose, exchange pleasantries, and proceed to make references to each other's ancestry.
He would trim or carve out the bark of the elm tree in the off season and then season that bark in a humidor, cigar humidor, and then chew on pieces of that bark while he pitched. And it was the lubricant, this film, that would create kind of a nice texture to allow him to throw a spitball.
I had an old-fashioned crystal mic that was open on all sides. Picked up every sound in the ballpark. I had no control of all the fine flow of colorful language that was going out in the air from the Grimes umpire debates.
He had an interesting nickname, Old Stubblebeard. And why was that? The problem was he was slightly allergic to elm, so that would irritate his skin to a great degree, and he couldn't shave really before or after games, hence the nickname Old Stubblebeard.
And so long before Jack Parr or Johnny Carson, I had a blue-flavored and spicy program going for me.
You heard Bill Wetzel and Bill Kemp. McHistory is a partnership between WGLT and the McLean County Museum of History. WGLT's Charlie Schlenker produced this episode. Thanks for choosing WGLT's Sound Ideas, made possible in part by Bloomington Normal Audiology. I'm John Norton. Story help today from WGLT's Braden Fogerson and Charlie Schlenker. Katie Seelinger edits the show. This is 89.1 WGLT and WGLT.org, part of the NPR network.